All right. I'm a biblical astrologer, and a lot of people think that that's a contradiction or a blasphemy. They always point me to Deuteronomy 18:10. They tell me I need to repent of it. Astrology is not listed here. They're just roping it in with witchcraft or divination. Divination back then was when you ripped open a pig's guts and looked at their intestines to try and just figure out an omen or something. But people don't research that. And the word for astrologer is actually found in the Old Testament of Daniel chapter 2 verse 10. It's actually, there's more than one place for it in there. Magician or astrologer or Chaldean. If you go to Strong's Concordance, you look up the word, it's Kazdi. Kazdi, it's actually pronounced Kazdi, but it says Kazdai. Okay, it means Chaldean. You click on it and you're going to see a lot about from Chaldea, from the descendant of Kesed, also an astrologer, because the people that lived in Chaldea were astrologers. Abraham, his father Terah, and his two brothers Nahor and Haran were from Chaldea. They were all astrologers. The problem with Chaldea, the wickedness, was their idolatry. They worshipped the planets. They had statues for them, and they would worship the deities. And if you read some of the Apocryphal books, like the Jubilees, it's really interesting how Abraham went about that. So anyway, I'm pointing out that the three wise men, the three kings, were also called the three magi. The word magi, you need to look into the origin of it. It originally comes from a term from Zoroastrian. Zoroastrianism is against witchcraft and magic. The term magi originally did not mean witchcraft and magic. Magi was someone that was an astrologer. Later, it was used for the words magic and magician, but it originally wasn't. So now I'm going to point out Zoroastrian. You need to go do a deep dive on Zoroastrianism. I have a video on my YouTube channel, EdenHeiress, and I have a whole video where I'm connecting the dots and going way deeper into Chaldean, Abraham, Zoroastrianism, and Magi's. So from the Jewish Encyclopedia, Zoroastrianism, and you got to read all this stuff if you really want to connect the dots, because this is a faith that is very close to Judaism and Christianity. In my opinion, Zoroaster was a descendant of Abraham because it's very Abrahamic, very similar beliefs. It's the closest in resemblance to Judaism and Christianity. They have very similar purification and cleanliness rituals in their priesthoods. They believe that God is a sacred fire. They just have a different name for him. But, you know, you're going to have cultural differences because of language barriers and whatnot, thanks to the Tower of Babel. They believe that there's the ultimate thing going on in the world is a battle between good and evil. They believe that if you have multiple gods, the other gods are demons, they're fallen angels. They believe in a mountain where some commandments were set up. They have a similar code to the Levitical code. They believe in 6 days of creation, just like Genesis. They believe that there was a man and a woman that everyone else came from originally. They believe in the flood, that there was one family that was spared on the flood, and they had 3 sons that divided up the portions of the earth, just like Noah with Shem, Ham, and Japheth. They have uncleanliness laws. Okay, there's parallels between Zoroaster and Moses as sacred lawgivers. You got to look into this. It's really interesting. I get excited about stuff like this. Okay. Now going back to the Chaldeans and the Babylonians, Jerusalem was ransacked. The Israelite people and the Judeans were held captive in Persia and Babylon, where they learned astrology, but they also knew the prophecies of the Messiah. They had both.